May 1st garden update 2016. Just had a rain, and we had a couple little rains here and there, but overall it's been pretty dry, so I've had to do a decent amount of hand watering. But everything's growing good. The heat that's come in, we've had some really warm days the past 2 weeks, so being that I kept up with the watering and that heat, has really made everything really take off. But there's already a few things that I've learned and remembered from last year that I didn't quite get to this year that I'm gonna do next year. The squirrels, they're always a problem back here, being on the edge of the woods, and I've been threatening to put some fencing down before I do my broadcasting of my seed, so the seeds will pop up through that fence, and that'd help deter the squirrels from digging in there. But I just forgot to do it this year. I'm going to do something like this kind of fencing here with my chicken run, so it'll be big enough that the plants can grow through it. Like maybe the beets will be able to grow through it fine. That might be pushing the beets, but like the lettuces and some other leafy greens, they'll be able to grow through it fine. Maybe I can find a bigger one for my beets. What you doing, girl? Cleaning yourself up. But yeah, I just need to figure out something with the squirrels, because they're just a pain in the ass. I'm always laying sticks. I mean, it's for the beans and stuff, I've got like one row. For the tomatoes, I got one row. They're easy enough. I just lay some sticks down there and around the roots, and that's fine. But when I've got some more broadcasted stuff, the leaves, it's a little more difficult. I need to figure out something with the beets. The lettuces, I'm not too worried about, because I broadcast so much. If they dig in half of it, they thin it out for me. But with the beets and the radishes, if you mess with those when they're young, it screws up the bulbs later on. So I need to find something to keep the squirrels from screwing that part of the life cycle up. This bed, everything's growing well. The garlic has that's an easy crop. I mean, everybody should grow that. I've only been growing it for 2 years now, but after seeing how healthy it is, and I don't even have that much sun back here, and it's doing good. I recommend that for everybody. Just put the bulbs in the ground in the fall, let them pop up in the winter, right before winter, and then once the spring comes, they just go nuts. No insect damage or anything. The lettuce in this bed, it took a couple tries, but it's starting to pop up now. Like I mentioned in one of the other videos, you see this is 100% compost, which it can get kind of dense in here. I'm probably going to put a bag of sand in there, or some vermiculite or something like that, just to loosen that up once I get through this batch of actually, I might just wait until the fall. I'll get the garlic harvested and the summer and spring crop harvested out of here, and maybe winterize it before doing garlic. I'll probably do garlic on this side next year, and before I do that, I'll somehow get a better aeration going, because right now I just got a little lazy and put 100% compost, and it got a little too compacted, which makes seed germination a little more difficult. But it ended up doing all right. Just took an extra pack of seeds. The dandelions are doing great. I put them in here a little too thick, but I just come in here and weed them out. I mean, it's pretty gnarly tasting green. I mean, it's nothing that you're going to recommend to somebody that's not a gardener, because they'll probably complain that it doesn't taste good. But if you read about it and you know anything about it, you realize it's a really healthy plant. And I don't know about other gardeners out there, but I've got a lot broader palette now that I do a lot more gardening, especially once you learn about the nutrition and it's good for you. You just mix it with better tasting lettuces and some sorrel and a little salad dressing and some radishes, and you don't even taste that extra bitterness of the dandelions, but you get the extra nutrition from them. So you just have to be a little smart with how you use them. The kale is doing good. Collard trees continue to do good. They're not growing that fast, the collard trees, but I think they're going to take off here soon. Being that it's springtime and the bugs are starting to come out, I'm starting to be reminded why kale and collards is kind of a pain in the butt to grow, because the white flies are already here. Had white flies really bad last year, and I had to keep on spraying. You miss a week with that stuff, and they just take over. So I think next year, I've got kale here. I've got 3 kale plants in that bed. I've got 3 kale plants back there. I've got to spread out just for pest diversity, with the theory that the moths, what's it called, the cabbage looper or whatever, that moth that lays the eggs and the worms eat your kale plants and cabbage plants. If you have them spread out, then supposedly it's less likely they'll land on all of your plants. But I really don't see that. They get to every plant. There's enough of them around here in the Raleigh area that I've got those looper butterfly moths, whatever you call them, come through all the time. So they get every plant that I have back here. So next year, probably what I'll do is just do like a single kale bed and put some netting over it, which this one will be easy. I've already got netting on the side, so I just need to rig something up with some netting to dome up a little bit and have all my bok choy, kale, everything that the cabbage looper can get on netted, and then that way I'm only spraying for the white flies instead of going all over my yard, spraying a little bit here, a little bit there. The squirrels, like I mentioned, they're just continuing to be a pain in my ass. I'm trying a new plant called oca this year, which is a potato substitute, and it's supposed to be really hardy. Or not hardy, it's actually, you don't want too much sun or it'll have issues. So I've got it back here in my yard, which is a lot of speckled sun, so hopefully it'll do alright. The only problem is the squirrels dig up everything back here, and you can see them just starting to pop up. It looks like a 3-leaf clover. And I actually didn't know that's what they look like when they're young, and I pulled up the first one, so I screwed that up. But this is starting to pop up now. The trick is keeping the squirrels away from them, because squirrels will just, I don't know. The other bed I've got them in, twice they've dug into the ground. It's a big old pink tuber, so it stands out like crazy. So I've been welcomed with coming out here, the first thing in the morning, checking it out, and with a big pink tuber laying on top of the bed, just like he pulled it up, laid it out there just to prove that he could do it to me. So I've had to replant that one twice in this other bed. So we'll see if that one takes. The trick is just keeping the squirrels away from them long enough so they can actually get big and survive. And you get some roots in the ground so they can hold on. The Swiss chard's really starting to take off here. You can see it's big. That one's popping up. I'll probably start thinning out the dandelions around there a little bit. The arugula that I transplanted in the middle, where's it at? Somewhere in the middle here. It took, so I'm gonna let that go to seed, so I'll be able to get a dandelion arugula, perennial arugula mixed through here. Where's that? The red vein sorrels continue to do good. I came out here this morning and probably about a quart of the leaves had that brown issue. Let's see if I can get the sun on it. See how it's browned up and dried out and starting to die? I'm thinking maybe it got too wet, or just this clump was too dense. But I pulled all those out and thinned it out and made a big salad this morning with a bunch of it. Chester, get out of here. Come on, bud. I don't want you in my garden. You're supposed to have about getting the mice. But I don't know. This first year I've grown this, the French sorrel I grew last year didn't have any problems. Even if I'd overseeded and it was overcrowded, and it still did fine. No bug problems or anything. But this one had, this whatever brownish, just kind of died and wilted. So I'm gonna have to watch that. Maybe I just keep it thinned out and aerated. Get out of here, bud. Come on, I don't want you in here. The French radishes have done great. I mean, really good. I was really pleased with these. Buddy, get out of here. No. Come on. Go on. I don't want you laying in here. Go on. Go. Where was I? See, they're doing great. I mean, they're ready to harvest right now. I've been harvesting them for 2 weeks now. I've been really happy with these. They're not bolting. You can see that they're, even May 1st, there was a little bit of slug damage. You can see some holes in them. It was a little bit worse earlier on, but it made it through it, and they put off some really good radishes. I've been eating those nonstop for 2 weeks now. The daikons, on the other hand, you see they're bolting, and they were totally worthless. I had one that swole up and gave me a big size radish. All the others just sat there for a month or ever how long it was and bolted, and that's it. So they've become chicken food. So daikons, they're not going to work in my backyard. Maybe it's just not quite enough sun earlier in the season. They might take a lot of sun early in the season, I'm not sure. But the French ones, these little red tall ones, are awesome. Daikons are really hot anyways. The one that did well was really hot. The collard trees are continuing to do good. I came out here and sprayed them with the neem this morning. I'm getting some rotten leaves here, so I don't know what's going on. We'll see. The pods are starting to swell up. I'm gonna let some of these go to seed and hopefully save the seeds on these so I can plant it by seed next year. You can see this seed's really starting to swell up here. Am I looking at it? Right here. Where you at? Right here. Come on. Oh well. It's starting to swell up. The pods are starting to swell up. My friend gave me, he had some extra crowns of asparagus that planted in here, but the squirrels dug up and got half of them. This is the only one that survived, so we'll see what happens with that. I might have one sprig of asparagus every year now. You can see there what I did. I had the sticks for the radishes. I should have done that with my beets too, but I never got around to it. So the squirrels have been a pain in the ass with the beets too. You can see, with the tomatoes, they're doing good because I've got the wood stakes and sticks all around them, so that's keeping the squirrels from digging in there. But I didn't quite get to them with my beets. And you can see this morning I had about 4 more growing here. I put some new seeds. You can see they just tore them all up, little fuckers. Excuse my language. But next year I'm gonna get some sticks and put through here. You see right there, they're digging up there too. The bok choy. Oh yeah, before I get to the bok choy, here is a new plant this year. That is Malabar spinach, the red vein, and it's a little shaded out because of the beets are starting to get a little bigger, but it's an understory plant, so it should be able to vine up. Oh, there's a cabbage looper. See that moth flying around, laying eggs on everything. That's alright. I'm going to put some of that BT out here soon. Where was I? Oh yeah. The ground cherry, that one's doing good, and I've got some more of the Malabar over here, so I gotta get Malabar. I'm gonna do up the side. Malabar up the side. All tomatoes along here. I had another ground cherry right here, which the slugs got. It is a really small one. So I'm trying to grow a couple more seedlings and get them bigger before I put it in. Which, seeing how big that one is getting, I'm probably gonna bring it on down here toward the beets more, or I might end up putting it here. I've got amaranth here that's just starting to pop up. You see a little teeny red burgundy plant starting to pop up. That's the red amaranth. So the idea with that is I'm gonna harvest it young for the leaves and just do successions of it and let a couple of the plants get big and harvest the bigger leaves. But that's another plant. It's kind of like the dandelion. It's not the most tasteful plant, but you know, do a little bit in your salads, or you can put it in some tasty simmer sauce and it'll mask the bitterness. The bok choy, I need to get out here and harvest this today. It's starting to go to flower. I had some slug damage, you can see the holes, but not enough to worry about treating it, so I didn't have to treat it, which was good. I was starting to think that it was gonna get eaten up really bad. The kale in here is doing good, but it's starting to get white flies already. I sprayed some neem oil on these this morning too. We got a rain, so hopefully it didn't wash it off. Might have to put some more on it later. The cilantro, which I was worried about, that worked great. I got a really early start on the seeds, so I don't know, April 1st or something. I need to get back and look at my other videos and see when I planted that, but it worked out perfectly. And even some of the seeds didn't take early on, which that bigger growth grew, and they ended up, the seeds, you know, for whatever reason, ended up taking about a week ago. So I've got a little bit of natural selection going there accidentally, or succession. I planted some purslane seeds here, and I just can't get it going. It's the second time I tried it. So maybe that's just a little bit too much shade there for it. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise, because from what I understand, it's a really invasive plant, but it's really healthy for you. So I was hoping to get it to grow, but we'll see. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's part of gardening, right? Right here, you can see I've got a Malabar spinach. Come on, focus. And a bunch of little seeds. I started the seeds inside and got them, you know, in a wet paper towel, and got them to sprout, and then put those sprouts in the ground. And that's the way to do it, man, because I planted these inside under lights without doing anything to them. It took forever, like a month before they did anything. So if you do Malabar spinach, put them in a paper towel, let them soak, and end up sprouting for about, you know, a week or two. Might take 2 weeks, and then put them in the ground, and then within a couple of days you'll see the leaves popping up. And I think it's a good way to do it. But hopefully once these peas are done, I've got the sugar snaps and the snow peas here, those will be coming right behind it. I've got some more Malabar spinach and those trays over there that I've put in the little individual seedling containers, that I'll probably finish putting those down here once these are done. But that's gonna be a learning process. This is the first year I've done those, so I'm learning as I go with those. But so far so good. The main thing is just trying to figure out if I've got enough sun back here for them. I've heard they work good in the speckled sun, so we'll see. Here's Malabar spinach too. I grew beans here last year, and I got tons of leaves, but hardly any beans, because I think the birds were getting it. So the idea was to grow Malabar spinach here, let it just, you know, grow over these trellises here. But I don't know, they're getting a slow start. I don't think I quite get enough sun here, so I'm crossing my fingers and hoping for the best. You see I'm getting some slug damage there too, so I might have to do some slug maintenance here. that leaf, you can see it's yellow, which I put some more fertilizer on it, and I ended up putting some Epsom salt solution on it. So we'll see what happens. That was 2 days ago, or a day ago, and it's still yellow, but I don't know. The Jerusalem artichoke bed is doing great. You can't stop these guys. That's recommended for everybody, but make sure you put it in a container, like a container or a raised bed, because that stuff's invasive. I even had some roots that popped out under the bed and popped out here that you see here. You just got to stay on top of it so they don't wander into your neighbor's yard, and next thing you know, they're everywhere. But I pulled out the ones in the front. I'm gonna keep clipping those until my tomato plant's mature and big enough, because the sun's coming from behind me, so I don't want it to get too shaded out. But this is a bed I'm having trouble with my squirrels. I put a couple little oca plants in here too, and they keep digging them up. Came out here this morning with a red tuber sitting out on the ground, but you can see them here starting to pop up, which I need to put something over it. Which I'm gonna do that right now, maybe. Pull this out. Give it a little protection here. Squirrels stay out. That's about it. My volunteer lettuce that popped up from the fall did awesome. I harvested about 75% of that already. Left some leaves at the top, see if that keeps coming for me. The French sorrel's doing good, so I'll start harvesting that for some soups soon. Swiss char's doing great. I still haven't got my, I've got all these main trunks for my irrigation system. I haven't started teeing it off yet. I've just been too lazy. I've just been continuing to hand water it. We'll see. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I want to do that. I've got a couple of different connectors. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. Hey buddy, found you a little spot there? What you doing? Chilling like a villain? Look at them squirrels. Just started getting flowers on my peas. About I don't know, 4 days ago. And every time I come out here there's more, so I think these are my snow peas. I don't see any flowers on them yet. They're a little bit behind the sugar snaps. Yeah, I don't see any flowers on these yet. But you can see the cilantro, how healthy that's doing great. I think this extra shade's helping it. So I'll keep on doing successions of that and hope for the best for the winter, or for the summer heat. Yeah, I think that's about it. The tip on this one is just being really slow, not wanting to take off, and I think that might be just the 100% compost, not good drainage, holding that back. But the peas over here, sugar snaps, doing awesome. A bunch of flowers, so we'll have some sugar snaps here too. And after those are done, I'm gonna do the Egyptian spinach there. I can't remember if I said anything about this, but I got the trellis up. So I got 4 strings there, which will let me cover this whole area. So I'm not gonna pluck the suckers off these cherry tomato plants. I'm gonna let them really spread out and just become a whole wall of leaves here, and hope for the best. I think that's about it. Flowers are starting to bloom. This is a really pretty one. I planted this about 3 years ago, and every year it puts more and more flowers per bulb. This is gonna have 3, 4 all off one bulb. It's a really pretty flower. But that's about it. Alright, peace out.